Yes, sir, man. Happy holidays to everybody. We are here with a... Hold on, man. Give me a second. I'm trying to get this cover off. It's getting warm in here, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, bro. Let me toss this over there like that, like so. Pick up my phone. I dropped my phone, too. All right. Tell us. Take two. Yes, sir, man. It was the night before Christmas. We are here on this Christmas Eve evening. It's currently 5:30 right now, man. We are here with the video from Jimmy High Roller. Now, I said that, you know, we're just gonna react to whatever, but he just dropped this video and it seems to be a banger right here, right at 500k views in 20 hours. And the title seems pretty interesting, if you know what I mean. We've been reacting to guys like Jimmy High Roller back to back to back. At this point, I'm kind of on the verge of just like starting to switch up stuff. We're probably gonna, I'm telling you guys, by next year, the start of next year, we're gonna be doing Try Not to Laughs. We're gonna be expanding everything, reacting to YouTubers. So we're gonna be expanding a lot. But right now, man, it's grind time. And we are here with this video from Jimmy High Roller titled, "This is changing the NBA right in front of our eyes." Don't know what it's talking about, but the thumbnail showed Steph Curry, so might be talking about 3-point shooting or whatever the case may be. This is a 13-minute video. Before we get into this video, man, I'm not asking you guys to subscribe, man. I'm just saying happy holidays to everybody. Let me know what you got for Christmas in the comment section. If you did catch this video, or you know, if you just like what let me know in the comment section. What is your favorite part about Christmas, man? Is it spending time with family, decorations that are around? Cause I get happy when I see Christmas decorations, the Christmas tree in the living room. So it's so beautiful, you know, the snacks that we make for Christmas, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, just being out there with family. Or do you like it for the presents, man? I know some people, you know, they like Christmas only because of the presents. That's not the way to go, but you know, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get into this video, man, and let's see what this is talking about right here.
In 1996, the NBA introduced a new metric for data tracking that would revolutionize the league: shooting location data. This new information provided far more than the basic data that we had had for decades. Shot location data tracked specific instances on the court, like exactly where a shot was taken, if a shot came from an assist, or if a shot attempted at the rim was a layup or a dunk. At the time, this data was groundbreaking and spawned a new wave of analytics in the NBA. For the first time, we could actually use numbers and data to take a deeper look into what was happening throughout NBA games. Fortunately, this game-changing data was implemented just in time to track Michael Jordan's last 2 seasons with the Bulls. And this new data revealed what NBA fans had already known for over a decade. Michael Jordan was a mid-range god. According to shot location data, MJ shot 47.1% from mid-range.
Yo, I'm telling you, man, the mid-range game is so underrated. Nowadays, we have guys like, who do we? The only person that I can name off the, okay, I can name probably 3. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and DeMar DeRozan are the 3 people that I know all like really utilize the mid-range game nowadays, man. I mean, those are the only 3 guys I could think of. But yeah, man, Kobe, T-Mac, MJ, so many different guys, Tim Duncan, Dirk, all these guys revolutionized the mid-range game, you know what I'm saying? But nowadays, man, it's a forgotten part of the game, man. Mid-range, you don't see too many people taking mid-range shots, man. Everybody wants to check up threes nowadays, man. But you gotta appreciate those guys like DeMar DeRozan, Kawhi, Paul George, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's an underrated part of the game.
From 10 to 23 feet from the basket in his last 2 seasons part of the Bulls. Now, this number may not sound all that impressive, but among the 80 players who attempted at least 3 mid-range shots per game throughout those 2 seasons, Michael Jordan was the best and most efficient. If all the other statistics the NBA has to offer weren't sufficient enough, shot location data proved once again that Michael Jordan was in a league of his own. This is the gold standard. Well, at least it used to be, because we still use shot location in today's NBA. And this season, among all players who have attempted at least 3 mid-range shots per game, there are 22 players league-wide who have a mid-range field goal percentage higher than Michael Jordan's was.
I forgot about KD.
Today's NBA players
taking those
are
all day, you know what I'm saying?
good at shooting the ball. In fact, they're so good, it's changing the game in ways we could have never imagined.
Dang.
Have you ever heard of the phrase, "shooter's gonna shoot"? Well, since you're watching this video, I'm sure you have. Before we had players like Steph, Dame, and Clay, we had Kobe, Ray, and Peja. And before them, we had guys like Larry Bird, Derek Harper, and Dale Ellis. Shooters who you can bet are going to shoot their shot. The
Yes,
shooter
sir.
is one of the most game-altering roles in basketball. The shooter can turn a double-digit lead into a tie game in absolutely no time at all. The shooter has the ultimate green
Listen,
light.
Robert Horry had
But
like
what
7
happens
rings,
when
bro. This
everyone
dude
in
is
the
crazy.
league is the shooter? In past eras of the NBA,
How
the
many
shooter
rings does
was
he
a
have?
very
7?
specific, very defined role that was given to only the most elite shot makers in the game. But what happens when
shot's crazy.
everyone is an elite shot maker? What if I told you that about 80% of the greatest shooters in NBA history are all in the NBA right now? It sounds like a stretch, I know, but it's true. And as the NBA continues to evolve, the ability to be a great shooter will be less of an exception and more of a requirement. As we all know, the league has been
True.
going through a three-point
He's speaking
revolution
facts.
over the last 8 seasons or so. Teams and players realize the
have
massive
to shoot
advantage that
threes.
three-pointers provide, and very quickly the desire to be proficient at the long ball became priority number one. Players practiced the shot more, teams built entire offenses around the shot, and the efficiency of the shot skyrocketed around the league. Since the three-point shot was added to the NBA, the benchmark for what we consider to be a good three-point shooter has been about 40%, and this benchmark has virtually remained the standard ever since. But dating back to 1990, the number of players around the league who have shot at least 40% from three has fluctuated drastically, from as low as 7 players in 1991 to as high as 28 players in 1996. But the three-point line was 2
Wow.
feet shorter that season, so those numbers are skewed. As we make our way through recent NBA history, the number of players capable of shooting 40% or more from three rises all the way up to 38 players in 2009, but then plummets back down to 17 the very next season. That total of 38 players would remain the league record for over a decade. That is until a record-shattering 50 players averaged at least 40%
what
from
the
three
heck?
in 2021, and then again this season, where 45 players are currently exceeding what was once the benchmark number of 40%. The number of pure shooters in the NBA right now is absolutely absurd. But what if we remove the players that achieve their efficiency with minimal attempts? If we bump the minimum to at least 4 three-point attempts per game, well then our chart looks like this. And the overwhelming number of great shooters that are currently in the NBA right now becomes even more glaring. Unfortunately, for a lot of players in the past, shooting volume three-pointers just wasn't an option. It was far from normal to take 5, 6, 7 threes a game 35
took
years
that,
ago.
you'd probably get
But
taken
that's
out the
just
game.
it. The revolution of three-pointers
Mid-range
in
was
recent
life
NBA
back then,
history
I
has
guess.
allowed more
I don't know.
players to become the shooter.
I wasn't
but
alive
it's
to
also
see it, but
allowed the shooter to
watching
have a
old
much,
clips.
much
Look at that
larger
shot.
role from game to game.
Bro, if you were to take that shot and if you were to take that shot probably like in the 90s, bro, you would probably get I don't even know, man. I wouldn't see a player taking a shot like that in the 90s, and I couldn't imagine how the coach would react to something like that, man. But yeah, man, nowadays, bro, it's the thing is nowadays, I would say coaches are more lenient on, the shot selections their players are, are allowed to take, really, because you know how some coaches are like, man, don't take that shot, though. That's a stupid shot, whatever the case may be. Nowadays we got guys like Steph Curry, obviously, man. Steve Kerr's not gonna stop Steph Curry. Steph Curry is, I would say, in a higher position than Steve Kerr.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
But that's another statement. That's for later. But yeah, man, a lot of coaches are allowing players to, expand their range, and then now they want players to do that because, that's just how it is nowadays. Of course, I can't speak for, back then because I didn't watch NBA back then. But when I do watch clips, I see a lot of players taking it close to the basket. If you're not, you're shooting a nice and settled, wide open mid-range shot. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and continue.
Before Steph Curry came along and blew the gates open on what kind of shooting we even thought was possible, Ray Allen was widely regarded as the greatest three-point shooter of all time. And throughout Ray Allen's peak 5-year stretch from 2003 to 2007,
Ray Allen,
he
Kyle
averaged
Korver.
38%
Who
from
else?
three on 7.5 three-point attempts per
man.
game. Just like Michael Jordan with his mid-range,
Buckets
Ray
all
Allen
day.
and his
Reggie
exceptional
Miller.
efficiency on
Buckets.
volume shooting was the gold standard for all shooters to aim for. This, however, is no longer the case. Because currently, there are 11 players around the league who are all averaging a higher three-point percentage on more three-point attempts per game over the last 5 seasons than Ray Allen did during his run as the best shooter on the planet. Shot location data has revealed that the NBA is not a big man's league like it once was. It isn't a league that prides itself on defense or even versatility or teamwork for that matter. The NBA is a shooter's league, and this trend can even be seen in the efficiency of free throws. The simplest shot in all of basketball, a shot that literally has the word free in its name, has been optimized far more now than it ever has been. This season, there are 16 players averaging at least 90% from the free throw line.
Did you see that
just
form?
10 years ago to the
did you see Tyrese? Well, we gotta go back, man. We gotta look at that form. Tyrese Halliburton, whoa, what was that, bruh? Look at this form right here, man. He said, boom. Oh my gosh. I've never seen this. He's putting up 30 though, so it's working. But dang, that's a crazy free throw right there. Look at this.
It ever has been. This season, there are 16 players averaging at least 90% from the free throw line. Go back just 10 years ago to the 2012-2013 NBA season, and the number of players who averaged at least 90% from the charity stripe was just 3. In fact, we don't have to go back very far to find seasons where the 90% threshold was reserved for only 1 or 2 players in any given season. Back in the 80s, the title of the league's best shooter was held exclusively by Larry Bird. Despite the game evolving drastically since Bird's retirement 3 decades ago, he is still regarded as one of the greatest shooters to ever lace up. And throughout Bird's career, he led the league in free throw percentage 4 times. In one of those seasons, Bird shot better than anyone else in the entire NBA when he shot 88.8% from the line in 1984. This season alone, there are 22 players who are shooting at least 88.8% from the free throw line. What was once a free throw rate good enough to lead the league now wouldn't even crack the top 20 in today's league. Only through decades of trial and error have NBA teams discovered which shots are worth taking and which shots are not. Combine offensive schemes designed to get great open shots with the most talented shooters in NBA history, and players around the league are simply hitting far more shots than ever before. Now, one of the more popular advanced stats is offensive rating. This stat simply measures how many points a team scores per 100 possessions. It's an efficiency stat. When a team brings the ball down the court, how often are they scoring? In the 1999-2000 season, the most efficient offense in the entire NBA was held by the Indiana Pacers, who had an offensive rating of 108.5. This season, the Charlotte Hornets are the least efficient offensive team in the entire NBA with a rating of 108.7.
Dang,
the worst offensive,
bro, that's a crazy difference. 30-1, and this is higher. Yo, I'm telling you, bro. Nowadays, it takes a lot more skill to, like, even just like high school basketball and stuff. Like, it takes a lot more skill, man. A lot more skills. Me personally, I like to analyze older NBA videos, like dating back to the early 2000s, the 90s. I don't go past the 90s. I try to keep it between the 90s and probably about 2008 or whatever the case may be, like the 2000s to 90s. And a lot of those guys, it don't look like they have that much skill, but you know, they can knock down a little mid-range, whatever the case may be. The offense isn't polished. But nowadays, when you watch NBA clips, like this season, crazy plays. It takes a lot more skill to play basketball nowadays, man. A lot more skill, and this just shows it. This is crazy efficiency right here.
Team in the NBA today is more efficient than the best offensive team in the NBA just 2 decades ago. In today's NBA, we are constantly seeing point totals well over 120, even 130 at times. After watching the dead ball era for over a decade, where a team could win a game after scoring just 80 points, seeing 250 points scored in a single NBA game on a regular basis can be a bit jarring. The most common explanation for these insane point totals being that teams just don't play defense anymore. And this is somewhat true, but a lack of intense, disciplined defense is not nearly the largest factor that leads to these point totals. At a certain point, good offense is going to beat good defense.
I'm not gonna lie, that was
So
mean.
what happens when the entire league slowly becomes more and more unguardable? Eventually, there's no defensive scheme that can keep up with this level of offensive
Beautiful
efficiency.
move.
80% of the greatest shooters in NBA history are all in the NBA right now. Not because they're innately better shooters than past players, but because in order to even play in today's NBA, this level of elite shooting has virtually become a requirement. Young stars around the league, players who are 21, 22, 23, were just kids when the three-point revolution began. These players have only known a game that revolved around volume threes and long jumpers. So where past players didn't hone in on their shooting abilities until later on in their careers,
Luka.
these young
Oh my
players have
gosh,
been trained
that's
to knock
wet.
down the deep ball from the minute they picked up a basketball. By the time Steph won his first MVP, players like Tyler Hero, Jordan Poole, John Morant, Darius Garland, Anthony Simons, Anthony Edwards were just starting their prep careers. By the time they had made it to the league, they already had more long-range reps than past players would get in an entire career. Today's NBA is built for the shooter because it was designed by the shooter. Years and years ago, Larry Bird was the blueprint. In a league where getting the ball into the post was an absolute necessity, he showed us that three-pointers were actually worth taking. Reggie Miller and Ray Allen were the next iteration of the shooter. No longer was the shot reserved for just spot-up shooters a handful of times a game, but you could take the shot off the dribble. You can pull up from three in an ISO situation. You can take them in volume and not be crucified for doing so. And players like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Damian Lillard, and Kevin Durant took shooting to a whole new level. A shot from 30 feet out was no longer a last-second heave, but now an actual, real shot attempt.
Logo
They
shots.
proved that you can win a championship
Crazy.
led by not big men, but by shooters. And they spawned an entire generation of shot makers unlike anything the league has ever seen. And with that being said, I'd like to leave y'all with this. Back in 1988, a player named Michael Adams broke new ground in the NBA. At the time, Michael was a young point guard in his third season in the league, playing for the Denver
He
Nuggets.
just shoot with one
Now,
arm?
Michael wasn't what you would call a sharpshooter, especially by
I know I'm
today's
not
standards.
tripping.
But that didn't stop
He got-
Michael from doing what no other
like
player
that.
had done before. Because in that season, 35 years ago, Michael attempted 4.6 three-pointers per game. Nearly half of his total shot attempts each game came from beyond the arc. This was the first time since the introduction of the three-point line that a player shot at least 4 threes a game. He didn't know it at the time, but Michael Adams was the NBA's first volume three-point shooter. And since that season 35 years ago, there have been a total of 255 individual seasons where a player has maintained a true shooting percentage of at least 60% while attempting at least 4 threes a game.
Hey,
That's
he set the-
35
he set the
years
norm.
of thousands of shooters condensed to just 255 of the very best the NBA has ever had to offer.
He set the
of those
percentage norm for the
255
league.
seasons, 178 of them came from players who are currently in the NBA. The National Basketball Association is a shooters league, and today's shooters are in a league of their own. Hope you all enjoyed, and as always, until next time.
Hey man, shout out to Jimmy Hyerler with this one, man. But yeah, bro, the Warriors truly revolutionized the league, man. A lot of players right now are, you know, really inspired by the shooting of Steph Curry and the way they, I mean, if you look, if it wasn't for them winning all those championships, I don't think the NBA would be as much as a, you know, three-point inspired league, you know what I'm saying? Like the Warriors, they really took three-point shooting to the next level. But yeah, man, shooting nowadays, it takes a lot, man. It takes a lot of skill to just be able to play basketball, compared to back then, I would say. And that's me just from watching clips. But yeah, man, a very, very interesting video. I had a feeling it was gonna be something related to threes because I seen the thumbnail. It had Steph Curry and a no-look three-pointer with the arrow going, so I knew it was gonna be shooting. I could just tell. This isn't the first time he's done one about how shooting is changing the league. I think we watched one most recently when he did talk about it. But yeah, man, he's basically just reiterating his point in this video. But yeah, man, that's gonna go ahead and conclude today's Christmas Eve video. Hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas. We won't come back probably until, wait, when does the, hold on, let me check my phone real quick to see the NBA schedule real quick to see NBA games on Christmas. Let me check real quick, 1 second, guys. Okay, so the latest game, oh yeah, now 10:30. Yeah, man, we're gonna come the next day, the day after Christmas, and we're gonna react to some of those videos or some of those NBA highlights. Now, I'm probably not gonna do every single one. I'm probably gonna do the ones that I feel like were most spectacular, you know what I'm saying? And we'll give you guys those reactions. Of course, you know, the NBA they're gonna dish me out with the copyright. The most recent one, the Christmas video we just did, I got a copyright strike. So yeah, man, I had to go ahead and clip out a part of that video. It was actually 2 different parts. So after me making this one and posting this, I have to go back into that one and reprocess it so I can cut out both of those clips. But yeah, I've been keeping this outro a little bit too long. Hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas. Happy Christmas Eve. Make sure you guys tell me in the comment section what you guys are doing for Christmas. I would love to hear it. And yeah, man, this is NOT signing off, man. Love you guys. Peace. Gotta sip this hot chocolate real quick, you know what I'm saying? Yes, man, I'm ready for Christmas. Let's go. Let's go, Christmas games.